1. Whereas Article 10 and 73 of the Constitution, Section 3 and 16 of the Leadership and Integrity Act 2012, and Sections 9, 10, and 12 of the Public Officer Ethics Act 2003 establish, among others, the rule of law, democracy, human dignity, courtesy, respect, inclusiveness, equality, human rights, integrity, professionalism, non-discrimination, protection of the marginalized, good governance, transparency, and accountability as part of the national values and principles of governance. 2. Articles 10, 73, and 75 of the Constitution require state officers at all times, whether in public or private life, to behave in a manner that, among others, Roman 1 brings honor to the nation and dignity to the office that a state officer owns. Roman 2 ensures decisions are not influenced by nepotism, favoritism, or other improper motives. Roman 3 demonstrates discipline and commitment in service to the people. And Roman 4 avoids demeaning the office that a state officer owns. 3. Articles 10, 232, 235, and 236 of the Constitution and Sections 59, 59A, 60, 62, 63, 64, and 65 of the County Governments Act 2012 provide for the values and principles of public service and establish an elaborate regulatory framework for the establishment of county public offices and the recruitment, employment, deployment, transfer, and dismissal of county public officers. 4. Article 181 of the Constitution, Section 33 of the County Governments Act, and Standing Order Number 65 of the Standing Orders of the Assembly provide for the impeachment of county governors for 1. Gross violation of the Constitution, 2. Gross violation of any other law, 3. Abuse of office, and 4. Gross misconduct. 5. The governor has, despite a previous impeachment process and warnings from the Senate, persisted in discreditable acts that singly and collectively amount to Roman 1, gross violation of the Constitution, 2, gross violation of various national and county laws, 3, gross abuse of office, and 4, gross misconduct. 6, the discreditable acts have exposed the office of the governor, the office of the deputy governor, the assembly and its leadership, and the people of Meru County to national shame, scandal, embarrassment, ridicule, and disgrace. The discreditable acts have created a toxic environment in which the governor cannot be legitimately expected or relied upon to work harmoniously with the deputy governor, county government staff, MCAs, and other elected leaders. 8. The governor's continued stay in office has persistently undermined effective and efficient service delivery and delivery at the interest of the people of the county. 9. The Assembly resolves to impeach the governor under Article 181 of the Constitution, Section 33 of County Governments Act, and Standing Order Number 65 of the Standing Orders of the Assembly on the following grounds. Count number 1, misappropriation and misuse of county resources. The governor has grossly violated, among others, Articles 10, 73, 201, 226, 227, and 230 of the Constitution, Sections 8, 12, 13, 16, 17, and 35 of the Leadership and Integrity Act 2012, Sections 55 and 66 of the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act 2015, and Sections 45, Subsection 2, and 46 of the Anti-Corruption and Economic Crimes Act by engagement, connivance, and or complicity in the following. A. The embezzlement of county funds through the governor's sisters, Rose Kinya Gwantai and Miriam Gwantai, brother Kenneth Gwantai Murangeri, brother-in-law Nefat Kenywa, and the nephew to the governor's husband, Henry Mutuma Murangeri, all of whom are from now on collectively referred to as the governor's relatives. B. The withdrawal of county funds and the guise of payment for various supplies by the governor's relatives, yet they are ineligible to tender for or supply any goods or services to the county government. C. Paying full salary and benefits for more than a year to Dr. Ntoiti, CEO of County Revenue Board, Paul Mwaki, CEO of Liquor Board, Kenneth Kimathi Mbaye, CEO Meru Microfinance, and Joseph Kithure Mberia, CEO MEWAS, while knowing that those officers were not rendering any services to the county, and D, the diversion and misuse of county resources, including funds and motor vehicles, to run the governor's private charity, dubbed Okolea, despite a previous promise to the Senate in previous impeachment proceedings to refrain from conflicting official county operations and Okolea operations. Number 11, evidence of the governor's engagement, convenience, and or complicity in the preceding gross violation of the Constitution and the law, 2, gross misconduct and gross abuse of office, is to be found in A, a complaint by Duranera Salesio Mutuma to the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, dated 11th August 2023, and the attachment to it, a copy of which is produced on pages 1 to 29 of the exhibits. B, a letter by the clerk of the Assembly dated 9th October 2023 requesting a certified copy of Meru County misrecords, a copy of which is produced on page 30 of the exhibits. C, a letter by the County Executive Committee member for Finance dated 11th October 2023 declining to furnish a certified copy of Meru County misrecords on frivolous grounds, thus inviting an adverse inference against the governor in relation to the complaint raised by Mutuma Salesio Duranera, a copy of which is produced on pages 31 to 32 of the exhibits. D, payslips for Dr. John Tweety, Joseph Kithure Mberia, and Kenneth Kimathi Mbaye, copies of which are produced on page 33 to 41 of the exhibits. And E, the Maua Chief Magistrates Court Miscellaneous Criminal Application number E085 of 2023, a copy of which is produced on pages 42 to 47 of the exhibits. F, charge sheets against Salesio Munene Kanga alias Samaritan and Isaiah Toribi Kiyuki, employees of the county government, relating to the violence that erupted at the governor's Okolea rally at Makiri, copies of which are produced on pages 48 to 49 of the exhibits. G, payslips for Salesio Munene Kanga alias Samaritan and Isaiah Toribi Kiyuki, confirming their status as employees of the county, copies of which are produced on pages 50 to 51 of the exhibits. And H, a video recording of the violence that erupted at the Okolea rally at Makiri on 16 September 2023, which is saved in the flash disk presented herewith, and the transcript of which is produced on pages 52 to 53 of the exhibits. Count number 2, Honorable Speaker, nepotism and related unethical practices. The governor has grossly violated, among others, Articles 10, Articles 232, 235, and 236 of the Constitution, Sections 12, 17, and 24 of the Public Officer Ethics Act, 2003, Sections 13, subsection 1, B, F, subsections 16 and 24 of the Leadership and Integrity Act 2012, and Sections 55, 59, 59A, 60, 62, 63, 64, and 65 of the County Governments Act 2012, by engagement, convenience, and or complicity in the following: A, fraudulently misrepresenting the governor's relatives as a technical team for purposes of travel to China to inspect and certify cancer treatment equipment, while knowing that the governors for purposes of travel to China to inspect and certify cancer treatment equipment, while knowing that the governor's relatives are not medical professionals. B, employing Edwin Mutuma Murangiri, who is a nephew to the governor's husband, as the CEO of Meru County, as the CEO of Meru Youth Service, MYS, and acting chief officer of the Department of Finance. C, the designation of Nefat Kenywa, who is the governor's brother-in-law, as the director of external leakages without transparent and competitive recruitment. And D, assigning diplomatic duties, namely engagements with foreign diplomats and dignitaries, to our unqualified sisters, that is Miriam Gwantai, PA, and Rose Gwantai, bodyguard. Evidence of the governor's engagement, connivance, and or complicity in the preceding 1. Gross misviolation of the Constitution and the law, 2. Gross misconduct, and 3. Gross abuse of office is to be found in a letter by the EACC to the governor dated 19th October 2022 relating to nepotism, cronyism, and other unethical acts, a copy of which is produced on pages 54 to 56 of the exhibits. B. The governor's response to the letter alluded to in subparagraph A above, confirming the employment status of the governor's close relative, a copy of which is produced on page 57 to 59 of the exhibits. C. Letters in English and Chinese by Beijing Link Tech Company Limited dated 25th April 2023, inviting the governor to China to benchmark cancer treatment equipment for installation at a cancer treatment center in Meru, copies of which are produced on pages 60 to 67 of the exhibits. Letter from the county government to the State Department for Devolution dated 26th May 2023, a copy of which is produced on pages 60 to 67 of the exhibits. An internal memo by Kusa Azel to the Principal Secretary, State Department for Devolution. An internal memo by Kusa Azel, the Principal Secretary, State Department for Devolution, dated 5th June 2023, a copy of which is produced on pages 76 to 85 of the exhibits. A letter from the State Department for Devolution to the Minister of Foreign Affairs, dated 5th June 2023, a copy of which is produced on page 86 of the exhibits. Videos of the governor's relatives' trip to China, which are produced in flash disk represented herewith. A letter dated 6th June 2023, describing Nefat Kenyu as the Director of External Leakages, a copy of which is produced on page 87 of the exhibits. A short list and interview schedule for various posts in the office of the governor, dated 6th September 2023, a copy of which is produced on pages 88 to 91 of the exhibits. An internal memo dated 23 August 2023, appointing Edwin Mutuma Murangeri, the CEO of Meru Youth Service, as acting chief officer for finance, a copy of which is produced on pages 92 to 93 of the exhibits. And K. Screen grabs of the governor's official Facebook page, post on 23rd May 2023, copies of which are produced on pages 94 to 100 of the exhibits. Honorable Speaker, count number 3, bullying, verification, and demeaning other leaders. The Governor, Her Excellency Governor Mwangaza, has grossly violated, among others, 1. Articles 10, Articles 19, 28, 73, and 75, and 179 of the Constitution, Sections 9b, 19, and 24 of the Public Officer Ethics Act, Sections 29 and 34 of the Leadership and Integrity Act, and Sections 32 and 3, C, and D of the County Governments Act by engagement, connivance, and or complicity in, among others, the following. A. Exclusion of the Deputy Governor from County Executive Committee meetings and other official functions. B. Bullying, undermining, and posting insulting and demeaning messages about the Deputy Governor in our WhatsApp group, styled that Government 012, whose membership includes several officers who are subordinate to the Deputy Governor. C. Encouraging and condoning insubordination and the making of insulting and demeaning public utterances by subordinate staff against the Deputy Governor and other elected leaders. D. Bullying, undermining, and posting insulting and demeaning messages about the Deputy Governor in our WhatsApp group styled County Admin Services, whose membership includes several officers who are subordinate to the Deputy Governor. E. Encouraging and condoning the removal of the Deputy Governor by junior officers from official county WhatsApp communication forums. Arbitrary suspension, dismissal, withdrawal, and frustration of the staff of the Office of the Deputy Governor. Illegally and irregularly and fraudulently holding the Deputy Governor's staff out of office by purporting to accept their non-existent resignations. Arbitrary reduction, suspension, and withdrawal of budgetary facilitation for legitimate operations of the Office of the Deputy Governor. Threatening to inflict bodily harm against the Deputy Governor orally and in WhatsApp chats. Forcibly breaking entry and ransacking of the Deputy Governor's office, changing the locks to the Deputy Governor's office, arbitrary relocation of the Deputy Governor's office, arbitrary withdrawal of security from the Deputy Governor's residence, and persistently making demeaning public utterances against other elected leaders despite the same issue featuring prominently in the previous impeachment proceedings. Making insightful, insulting, and demeaning remarks against other leaders by falsely accusing them of cartelism at a presidential Thanksgiving service held in Lare despite this issue arising in previous impeachment proceedings, and encouraging, conniving, and condoning our husbands insulting and demeaning public utterances and musical performances against other elected leaders despite this issue featuring in previous impeachment proceedings. Evidence of the governor's engagement, connivance, and or complicity in the preceding: 1, gross violation of the Constitution and the law; 2, gross misconduct; and 3, gross abuse of office, is to be found in A, the answer of the meeting of the Sectoral Committee on Justice, Legal Affairs and Cohesion held on 29 September 2023, a copy of which is produced on pages 101 to 124 of the exhibits. B, screen grabs from the WhatsApp group styled that Government 012 and County Admin Services, copies of which are produced on pages 125 to 194 of the exhibits. C, correspondence relating to the appointment of Patrick Nkunga as the personal assistant to the Deputy Governor. And Mr. Speaker, for avoidance of doubt or conflict, the one Deputy Governor for Meru is Honorable Reverend Otuma Twedinkia. A copy of which is produced on pages 195 to 198 of the exhibits. D, a letter by the Governor's Chief of Staff dated 22nd May 2023 purporting to accept an unexistent resignation from Patrick Nkunga, a copy of which is produced on pages 199 of the exhibits. The purported resignation of Patrick Nkunga on 18th May 2023 is a fabrication of Governor's Chief of Staff. A claim by Patrick Nkunga for withheld salary dated 25th August 2023, a copy of which is produced on pages 200 to 201 of the exhibits. The appointment letter for Kombudu Paul Gekamati as the chief driver to the Deputy Governor dated 30th August 2022, a copy of which is produced on pages 202 and to 203 of the exhibits. A letter by the Governor's Chief of Staff dated 19th May 2023 purporting to accept an unexistent resignation from Kombudu Paul Gekamati, a copy of which is produced on pages 204 of the exhibits. A demand letter by Kombudu Paul Gekamati's advocates for withheld salary dated 13th June 2023, a copy of which is produced on pages 205 to 201 of the exhibits. A letter by the Deputy Governor's personal assistant to the Chief of Public Administration dated 14 July 2023, a copy of which is produced on pages 212 of the exhibits. Correspondence dated 11 August 2023 to 11 September 2023 relating to repair, service and fuel for the Deputy Governor's official motor vehicles, copies of which are produced on pages 213 to 219 of the exhibits. An internal memo by the Deputy Governor's personal assistant to the Chief Officer Finance dated 23 August 2023 requesting facilitation to attend a Meru leaders meeting at the Nakuru State Lodge, a copy of which is produced on pages 220 to 225 of the exhibits. An internal memo by the Deputy Governor to the County Secretary relating to CEC meetings dated 25th August 2023, of which is produced on pages 226 of the exhibits. Correspondence between the Governor's Chief of Staff, the Deputy Governor, and the Deputy County Secretary dated 30th August 2023 to 12th September 2023 relating to the relocation of the Deputy Governor's office, copies of which are produced on pages 227 to 229 of the exhibits. A letter by the Deputy Governor to the Speaker of the Meru County Assembly relating to office facilitation dated 30th August 2023, a copy of which is produced on pages 230 of the exhibits. A letter by the Deputy Governor to the Speaker of the Meru County Assembly relating to the exclusion from CEC
Honorable
meetings.
Leader Majority, please, where you are referring to the Deputy Governor, please also mention the names. Please.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Like previously I said, this motion relates to the Governor to the removal of one Honorable Governor Mwangaza, who is the Governor of Meru County. And it is irrefutable that the Deputy Governor is one Honorable Reverend Isaac Mutumantu. Therefore, they are the ones who are referred to in this motion, but I'll strive to mention by their names. Honorable Speaker, I was on a letter by the Deputy Governor to the Speaker of the Meru County Assembly relating to exclusion from CEC meetings dated 30th August 2023, a copy of which is produced on page 231 of the exhibits. A letter by the Deputy Governor, Reverend Isaac Mutumantu to the Secretary of the County Public Service Board relating to the staffing of the Deputy Governor's office dated 30th August 2023, a copy of which is produced on page 232 of the exhibits. A letter by the Deputy Governor to the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya relating to reconciliation dated 1st September 2023, a copy of which is produced on page 233 of the exhibits. A letter by the Deputy Governor to the Clerk of the Senate relating to an invitation to CEC meetings and office facilitation dated 1st September 2023, a copy of which is produced on page 234 of the exhibits. A letter by the Deputy Governor to the Chairperson of the Council of Governors and Chairperson of the Deputy Governor's Caucus relating to reconciliation dated 1st September 2023, a copy of which is produced on page 235 of the exhibits. An internal memo by the Deputy Governor to the County Secretary dated 11 September 2023, a copy of which is produced on page 236 of the exhibit, receipts evidencing the Deputy Governor's expenses on official motor vehicles after denial of facilitation, copies of which are produced on pages 237 to 242 of the exhibits. Correspondence relating to the invitation of the CECM Finance to appear before the Assembly to shed light on complaints by the Deputy Governor, a copy of which is produced on pages 243 to 248 of the exhibits. Police OB number relating to breaking into the Deputy Governor's office and forgery of his driver's resignation letters, copies of which are produced on page 249 of the exhibits, and a video recording of the Governor accusing other leaders of cartelism at a presidential Thanksgiving service held in Lare, which is saved in the flash disk presented herewith, and a transcript of which is produced on page 250 of the exhibits. Video recording of an insulting, demeaning, and insightful musical performance by the Governor, Her Excellency Governor Mwangaza, and her husband at KTN, which is saved in the flash disk presented herewith, and the transcript of which is produced on pages 251 to 252 of the exhibits. Video recording of the Governor's Chief of Staff making highly vulgar, insulting, demeaning, and insightful remarks against the Deputy Governor on Baita TV, owned by the Governor through relatives and proxies, which is saved in the flash disk presented herewith, and the transcript of which is produced on page 447 of the exhibits. And a video recording of the Governor, Her Excellency Governor Mwangaza, dissing MCAs and other elected leaders at a public rally and boasting of how she easily won previous impeachment proceedings, a copy of which is saved in the flash disk presented herewith. Honorable Speaker, count number 4, illegal appointments and usurpation of statutory powers. The Governor has grossly violated, among others, Articles 10, 41, 201, 232, 235, and 236 of the Constitution, Section 17 of the Public Office Ethics Act, Sections 45, 55, 59, 59A, 60, 62, 63, 64, and 65 of the County Governments Act, Section 4 of the Public Appointments Act 2017, Section 34, 3 of the Public Service Commission Act 2017, Section 9, Subsection 2 of the Meru County Revenue Board Act 2014, Section 4, Subsection 2 of the Meru County Alcoholic Drinks Control Act 2014, Section 11, Subsection 2 of the Meru County Microfinance Corporation Act 2014, and Section 18, Subsection 2 of the Meru County Water and Sanitation Services Act 2014, by engagement, convenience, and complicity in, among the others, the following. A. Appointing Kennedy Mwetriongo as a chief officer without county assembly approval. B. Sending Dr. Ntoiti, CEO of County Revenue Board, Paul Mwaki, CEO of Liquor Board, Kenneth Kemathi Mbaye, Managing Director of Meru Microfinance Corporation, and Joseph Kidhure Mberia, CEO MEWAS, on indefinite compulsory leave with full salary and benefits in the usurpation of the powers of the appointing authorities under the relevant Meru County laws. C. Deploying other persons in breach of a court order to perform the functions of the persons alluded to in subparagraph C above. Appointing unqualified persons, that is Edwin Mutuma Murangeri, Kenneth Mwetriongo, and Gitobu Kanata, as acting chief officers without the requisite competitive recruitment and recommendation of the County Public Service Board. Disregarding the criteria for the establishment of offices within the County Public Service by recruiting traffic marshals without the involvement of the County Public Service Board. Usurping the powers of the County Public Service Board by creating offices of the traffic marshals, which is the sole preserve of the County Public Service Board. Employing a bloated workforce, more than 100 personal staff in the office of the governor. Irregularly designating and paying various cleaners as senior support staff while having 16 support staff. Appointing the following persons to hold county offices in an acting capacity for more than 6 months. 1. Monica Kagwema, Chief Officer Youth. 2. Kome Mudhuri, Director, Health Services. 3. Francis Mungai, CEO, County Revenue Board. 4. Silas Mbabu Moguna, CEO, Liquor Board. Evidence of the governor's engagement, convenience, and complicity in the preceding gross violations of the Constitution on the law, gross misconduct, and gross abuse of office is to be found in A. Documents relating to the staffing needs of the office of governor, adverts, and shortlisting of chief officers, copies of which are produced on pages 253 to 294 of the exhibits. B. An internal memo by the County Secretary dated 23rd August 2023, a copy of which is produced on pages 295 to 296 of the exhibit. C. Summons issued by the Assembly's Sectoral Committee on Labor, Public Service and Social Welfare on 26th September 2023, copies of which are produced on pages 297 to 310 of the exhibits. D. Response by the County Secretary communicating the decision of the Governor, the Chief of Staff, County Secretary, County Executive Committee Member Finance, and the Fleet Manager not to appear before the Sectoral Committee of the Assembly, thus inviting an adverse inference against the Governor, Excellency Governor Mwangaza, a copy of which is produced on pages 301 to 312 of the exhibits. The answer of the meeting of the Sectoral Committee on Labor, Public Service and Social Welfare and on 5th October 2023, a copy of which is produced on pages 313 to 323 of the exhibits. The County Public Service Human Resource Manual 2013 and the Public Service Commission Human Resources Manual 2016, relevant extracts of which are produced on pages 324 to 334 of the exhibits. Internal memo dated 22nd December 2022 by the County Public Service Board to Chief Officers through the County Secretary, advising on transfers, appointments, and establishment of offices within the County Public Service, a copy of which is produced on page 305 of the exhibits. Letters sending various officers on compulsory leave, copies of which are produced on pages 306 to 342 of the exhibits. Circulars, guidelines from the Intergovernmental Relations Technical Committee, the Transition Authority, and the Salaries and Remuneration Commission on the staffing of the Office of Governor, copies of which are produced on pages 343 to 353 of the exhibits. Correspondence relating to the bloated workforce in the governor's office, copies of which are produced on pages 354 to 362 of the exhibits. Payslips relating to some of the bloated workforce in the office of the governor, copies of which are produced on pages 363 to 382 of the exhibits. Correspondence between the Assembly and the County Public Service Board on the appointment of chief officers and the employment of various staff within the office of the governor, copies of which are produced on pages 383 to 408 of the exhibits. Screen grabs from the governor's official Facebook page relating to the appointment of traffic marshals, copies of which are produced on pages 409 to 412 of the exhibits, and a video recording of the governor flagging off traffic marshals saved in the flash disk presented herewith, and a transcript of which is produced on pages 413 to 414 of the exhibits. Count number 5, Honorable Speaker, contempt of court. The Governor, Excellency Governor Mwangaza, has grossly violated, among others, Articles 10 and 73 of the Constitution, Section 7 of the Leadership and Integrity Act by engagement, and Section 10 of the Public Officers Act by connivance and the complicity in a contumacious, stubborn refusal to obey lawful court orders. Evidence of the governor's engagement, connivance, and complicity in this gross violation of the Constitution and the law, gross misconduct, and gross abuse of office is to be found in a video recording saved in the flash disk presented herewith, and a transcript of which is produced on page 415 of the exhibits. An order issued by Employment and Labor Relations Court on 7th October 2023, a copy of which is produced on pages 416 to 417 of the exhibits. A ruling delivered by the Employment and Labor Relations Court at Meru on 23 September 2023, finding the governor and other persons guilty of contempt, a copy of which is produced on pages 418 to 439 of the exhibits, and an order extracted from the ruling alluded to in the preceding subparagraph, a copy of which is produced on pages 440 to 441 of the exhibits. Honorable Speaker, county number 6, illegally naming a public road after husband. The Governor, Honorable Governor Mwangaza, has grossly violated, among others, Articles 10 and 73 of the Constitution, Section 7 and 11, subsection 1C of the Meru County Owners and Awards Act 2018, by naming a public road after a husband without following the applicable statutory procedures. Evidence of the governor's engagement, connivance, and the complicity in the foreseen gross violation of the Constitution and the law, gross misconduct, and gross abuse of office is to be found in a screen grab from the governor's official Facebook page, a copy of which is produced on page 442 of the exhibits, and a screen grab from the governor's husband's official Facebook page, a copy of which is produced on page 443 of the exhibits. Count number 7, Honorable Speaker, which is the last one, is the governor's contempt of the Assembly, where the governor has grossly violated, among others, Articles 10, 174, 185, and 185 of the Constitution, Section 39 of the County Governments Act 2012, and Sections 18, 22, and 27 of the County Assembly's Powers and Privileges Act 2017, by engagement, connivance, and or complicity in the following: A, refusing to honor lawful summons to appear before the Assembly's Sectoral Committee on Justice, Legal Affairs, and Cohesion to answer questions on the matters raised in the preceding parts of this impeachment motion. B, directing our Chief of Staff and accomplice by and lackey in malfeasance to write a contemptuous letter to the Assembly in response to lawful summons to appear before the Assembly Sectoral Committee on Justice, Legal Affairs, and Cohesion. And C, in the refusal by County Executive Committee Member Finance and County Secretary to furnish documents to the Assembly on the frivolous grounds that an incoherent audit process was underway and the matters raised by the Assembly were sub judice, the latter frivolous ground being also disingenuous and contrived when viewed against the fact that the Governor has already been convicted of contempt of court. Evidence of the Governor's engagement, connivance, and complicity in the aforesaid gross violation of the Constitution and the law is to be found in a letter by the Governor's Chief of Staff dated 11th October 2023, and a copy of which is produced on pages 446 to 445 of the exhibit. Honorable Speaker, this notice of motion is dated the 16th day of October 2023 and signed by myself. And Honorable Speaker, now with your permission, you allow me to lay this notice of proposed motion together with the exhibits, which are both in hard copy and also in a flash disk, on the table of this Honorable Assembly.
Yes, Honorable in the majority, Evans Mawira, please proceed that day.
Barabara kabisa, ni saa 5 asubuhi majira ya Afrika Mashariki. Matumaini yangu kwamba siku yako ya Jumanne na kuendea vyema popote pale ambapo unatazama taarifa hizi za yanayojiri siku hii ya tarehe 17 mwezi Oktoba mwaka 2023. Karibu, jina langu ni Suleiman Yeri. Tumekuandalia mengi, lakini kwanza nataka nikuregeshe katika kaunti ya Meru ambapo bunge la kaunti hiyo linajadili mswada wa kumbandua mamlakani Gavana Kawira Mwangaza, na tayari kiongozi wa wengi ameweza kupeana zile hoja na kwa nini wanataka kumbandua mamlakani Gavana Kawira Mwangaza, ambapo bunge hilo litakuwa na nafasi ya kuweza kujadili yale masuala ambayo yamewasilishwa na baadaye watapiga kura, na iwapo basi Kawira Mwangaza gavana yule atabanduliwa kwa mara ya pili, hii huenda basi ikaelekea katika mahakama, katika bunge la Seneti ambao pia watakuwa na nafasi ya kujadili. Hebu turudi tuone ni kipi ambacho kinaendelea katika bunge la kaunti ya Meru.
Committee of Justice, Legal Affairs and Cohesion proposes to move the following motion in the County Assembly of Meru, that this Honorable Assembly considers and adopts the report of Sectoral Committee on Justice, Legal Affairs and Cohesion on the complaint by His Excellency the Deputy Governor Meru County to the County Assembly of Meru against, among others, is alleged exclusion from County Executive Committee meetings and non-facilitation of his office, which report was laid on the table of the Honorable House on Honorable Assembly today, Tuesday, 17th October 2023, during the morning sitting. Mr. Speaker, I have undersigned this notice of motion, and with your permission, Mr. Speaker, I would wish to lay the notice of motion in the floor of the House.
Yes, Honorable Acheri Modhoni Modhuri, please proceed and delay. Thank you, Honorable Acheri Modhoni Modhuri. Now we have the third notice of motion, and this one is supposed to be given by Honorable Frederick Mobichi Kirema. Honorable Mobichi, please take the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. For the purposes of record, my name is Frederick Mobichi Kirema, representing great people of Nyaki West and the chairperson of Train Tourism and Enterprise Development. Mr. Speaker, I take note to the present that motion, notice of motion. I take notice that I, Honorable Frederick Mobichi Kirema, a member of County Assembly of Meru, representing Nyaki West Ward, and the chairperson of Sectoral Committee on Train Tourism, Cooperative and Enterprise Development, I purport to move the following motion in the County Assembly of Meru. That the Honorable Assembly consider and adopt the report of the Sectoral Committee on Train Tourism, Cooperative and Enterprise Development on Meru County Assembly annual report on trade for the financial year 2021-2022, which report was read on the table on the Honorable Assembly on Tuesday, 17th day of October 2023, during the morning sitting. Mr. Speaker, with your permission, I beg to read the notice.
Yes, thank you, Honorable Frederick Kirema. Please proceed and read. Thank you, Honorable Frederick Kirema, Chair Trained representing Nyaki West, for the motion. Clerk, can you take the next order?
Order number 7, statements.
Next order.
Order number 8, motion by leave of the House.
Honor members, we have one motion by the leave of the House, and this one is supposed to be moved by Honorable Gacheri Modhuri. Honorable Gacheri Modhuri, please take the floor.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. I want to come to the front and read the report from there, please.
Please do so.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker, sir. My name is Honorable Gacheri Modhuri, a nominated member by the Jubilee Party in this August House, and the chairperson Sectoral Committee on Justice, Legal Affairs and Cohesion. Mr. Speaker, sir, I have a report by the committee to the County Assembly against, that is a report on the complaints by His Excellency the Deputy Governor Meru County to the County Assembly against his alleged exclusion from County Executive Committee meetings and non-facilitation of his office. Mr. Speaker, this report was compiled by the committee in accordance with the Constitution of Kenya 2010, County Government Act 2012, the County Assembly's Powers and Privileges Act 2017, and the County Assembly of Meru Standing Orders. The report documents all activities of the committee throughout the entire investigation, where the committee received comprehensive briefs from His Excellency the Deputy Governor and the persons adversely mentioned by him in his submissions before the committee. The committee extensively scrutinized the documentation and submitted by various witnesses. The committee developed a schedule for inviting relevant persons to shed more light into the issues raised by His Excellency the Deputy Governor, and some invitees honored the invites, while others failed to honor nor respond to the summons issued by the committee. The committee contains summaries of various submissions submitted to the committee during the investigations. Recommendations of the committee. The county treasury do establish sub-vote end within the vote end of the office of the governor, and all planning documents to ensure the office of the deputy governor is well funded to discharge its constitutional mandate, and in the failure of the county treasury to do so, the County Assembly be free to establish the first county treasury, the first supplementary budget for the year 2023-2024 or 2024-2025 financial year. Number 2 of the recommendations, the Meru County Public Service Board do direct the reinstatement of one Patrick Nkonga and Paul Kamati as the personal assistant of the senior driver respectively under their previous contract terms, and ensure their personnel enrollments and entitlements for the period that they have been removed from the payroll are paid within a month from when this report is adopted by the County Assembly. Number 3, that the County Public Service Board is hereby directed to immediately desist from delegating the appointing authority to the officers who are not stipulated in the Section 86(1) of the County Government Act 2012. Number 4, the County Public Service Board commences disciplinary action against the Chief of Staff for issuing acknowledgement letters of non-existent resignation letters pursuant to Section 54 F of the County Government Act 2012. Number 5, the committee also recommends that the Deputy Governor be reinstated to his office that befits his stature as a duly elected Deputy Governor of Meru County. The committee notes that I'll repeat number 5 of the recommendations. The committee also recommends that the Deputy Governor...
Honorable Hacheri, please read the whole report from page 1 to the last page, please.
Noted, Mr. Speaker, I'll do that.
Yes.
Okay. The committee also recommends that the Deputy Governor be reinstated to his office that befits his stature as the duly elected Deputy Governor of Meru. The committee notes that the public resources were spent to make the office suitable to host a Deputy Governor, so the office should serve its purpose. Number 6, the County Assembly finds the Governor, the CEC Finance, and the County Secretary, the Chief of Staff, and the Fleet Manager in violation of Article 195 and the Constitution, together with the Section 18 and 22 of the County Assembly's Powers and Privileges Act, and this honorable House may take any action that is deemed fit against the officers. Pursuant to the Orders 195, it is my present duty to present to the House the report of the Committee Justice, Legal Affairs and Cohesion and Communication emanating from the Deputy Governor of Meru County regarding lack of facilitation and exclusion from the Executive Committee meetings. Mr. Speaker, on Tuesday, 19th September 2023, during the morning sitting, the presiding speaker made communication regarding 2 letters dated 30th August 2023, referenced DG-SP-CAM-2-2023 and DG-SP-CAM-01-2023 from His Excellency the Deputy Governor of Meru, which was subsequently committed to the Sectoral Committee on Justice, Legal Affairs and Cohesion for consideration and report back to the House on or before 17th October 2023 as annexed in Annexure 1. It is this regard that the committee resolved to invite the Excellency Deputy Governor to appear before the committee to shed light on the issues raised in the aforementioned letters, Annexure 2. This consultative meeting took place on Friday, 29th September 2023, starting from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the County Assembly Chambers. The mandate of the committee. Mr. Speaker, the Sectoral Committee on Justice, Legal Affairs and Cohesion is established under the Standing Orders number 190 of the County Assembly of Meru, standing orders, with a mandate to, among others, inquire into, report on all matters relating to intergovernmental relations and coordination, constitutional affairs, the administration of law and justice, ethics, good governance, integrity, and anti-corruption measures, and protection of human rights, civic education, and workforce. 2, all matters relating to participation of communities in governance at local level, including measures being taken to develop an administrative capacity to ensure citizen participation, all matters relating to constitution and cooperation between the national and county governments, establishing mechanisms for resolution